Applause.
John, what are you going to do tomorrow morning?
What do I do tomorrow? Okay,
yeah.
But if you want the real answer, I'll tell you.
No.
Oh, no. The real answer is I'm going to sleep till noon.
Oh.
Yeah. And then the traditional thing before leaving this hotel and going back to LA is go to Hash House of Go-Go right there in the hallway and eat something as big as my head or bigger. Yeah.
Sadly, you have like hardly eaten this whole.
Okay.
John is giving you his blood, sweat, and tears, and
you didn't even ask for it.
No.
Yeah. So sorry.
That's why I keep on going up to my room because I'm like, I'm good. But John's here. But who's had so much fun because of John? Please, seriously. I'm only here because of you.
You must be delirious being this nice
I'm
at
so
9 o'clock
tired.
in the morning. Wow.
I'm gonna be so nice today. Some people are assholes when they're tired. Yeah. I'm really
your
nice.
steely facade is chopped away.
You're so nice, John.
Oh, thank you. This has been an absolute pleasure.
Now I'm gonna get mean.
Yeah. Okay.
Here's the thing: I can't handle the compliments. I can dole them.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Yeah,
okay.
Just buy me diamonds instead.
Sure.
That's
okay. I'll get right on that. Yeah. How about Star Trek pins? Because we have a guy who can hook you up with later for that. Okay.
Yes, I knew if I held out long enough, I'd get what I'd want.
No, but you were making good points. So it was very weird. Anybody who listens to Mission Log know that I spend an inordinate amount of time talking about food in Star Trek, food in real life. Somebody's eating. Yeah, you listen to the show.
Food, the sustenance of life.
Yeah, something shows up on screen. I'm like, oh, I want to do 5 to 10 minutes on that. Right.
Sure.
So yeah, then
that's not weird.
Yeah, right. Not at all. And then I come to Vegas, which is a place full of great chefs, it's a party town. It's I'm gonna have all these great meals. No, it doesn't happen. Yeah. This is what keeps me going. So
are you okay back there?
They're not. Okay, they're okay. All right.
They're okay.
Yeah.
Create drama and then release it.
Right. Yeah. Right. But since this is our last morning show, and we'll bring out our guests in a moment and get to know them. And by the way, thank you all for. I'm shocked that there's more than 3 people here.
Honest to goodness.
Yeah, those 3 people I thought would be Kelsey, Alex, Claire.
Kelsey Grammer?
Kelsey Grammer is here. Yeah, he's a huge fan of our show.
I turned my head in just a minute just to see him start crying about Frasier. And I was like, that tracks. And then walked away.
Wait, I didn't know about this. Wait.
Oh, someone asked me a question. I was like, it's Kelsey Grammer, who I had finally taken it upon myself to watch all of the Cheers episodes over the pandemic. You don't not know Cheers, but I just had never watched it before.
How did you choose Cheers as the thing to rewatch over the pandemic? I don't know.
As like a sitcom study, really, because you really get the style of sitcom. Cheers begets Friends, and Seinfeld begets, and the guy who basically directed a lot of the first episodes of Friends also was responsible for Cheers. So I was just kind of doing it as a field study, but also Ted Danson is hot and The Good Place. So don't ask me that question again. It's a really obvious answer.
I hear you.
But I'll talk about it regardless. And so learning about Frasier in a different way other than the spin-off show.
Sure.
I just was like morbidly curious. I wish I had gotten to see Shatner. It didn't happen. I just was hoping to see it in passing. That I didn't make an event of it.
Sure.
But I got to see Frasier. I put my head in. Someone had asked him a question. I missed the question.
Okay.
And he goes, I really love the character because he goes to Seattle, he stays there, and his dad needs him. And he chokes up.
Wow. Oh, you were there. You were there. Okay. Wow.
And I was like, men. They're only vulnerable as they age.
100% true.
Yeah, but it was charming.
Oh, that's very cool. All right. So you didn't get to see Shatner, but you got to see Kelsey Grammer.
I'll see Shatner in my dreams.
Oh, okay. All right. What else from yesterday? I just want to know because this is your first big Star Trek, specifically Star Trek convention, and your first.
Honest to goodness, the best thing I've ever seen at a convention ever. This is the true story. Is the match game with John Champion.
Stop.
It was so much fun. Who got to see the match game yesterday?
Thank you.
I think that's one of the big things were happening. So you were up against a lot.
And but we had a nice full room.
Though, God, it was wonderful. Yeah. And it was your filthy mind was showing. He had to come up with these sentences where blah, blah, blah does blank. And Was it as tame as you thought it would be? How was that experience?
It went so okay. The whole thing with the match game is that if you ever watched it as a kid, what you would see is, they read the clue and there definitely could be a naughty answer to that. And the audience is chuckling because they get it.
That's
the
what
audience is like, ooh, I'm filling in with the filthiest thing. But it's TV. So the cast and the celebrities, they have to play it a little less so, but everybody knows what everybody's thinking. That's the fun of it.
Got it.
So I didn't tell anybody before they came on stage, like, hey, keep it PG-13. So they just...
Well, Gigi, the first thing she was schlong.
Yeah, just right away. So,
which was the right answer.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, but that just started things on this downhill trajectory.
Wasn't even that, and everyone sort of like, even Mary was very,
right.
obvious answers.
Right.
The first one was instead of using bowling balls, Worf was using what to knock down the bowling pins.
Yeah.
And the woman that was sitting here who was trying to win points, I think at one point she's like erasing and like balls, dick. No, okay. There's a couple times where she as John would vamp, she's like, I think I'm gonna change my answer. I'm gonna get the laughs. It was very fun.
But I do have to give a very, very big thanks to, and I'll say it right here to the camera, to Dan and Bill from Trek Geeks. Because it was really that combination of people with me, and we came up with
the idea. The only one on stage.
Okay, fair enough. Dan, Bill, forget you guys.
No, John.
No. And as far as
clap, please. I was going to be sad if you don't. You're so tired, like us.
I know, right? But no, they really are creative powerhouses and awesome and so funny. And Trek Geeks is such a great show. They are definitely missed this year. But we're going to talk to somebody on stage in a few minutes who knows them very well and partners with them. That would be our guy from Fan Sets. Yeah. So we're going to talk to John Garrison here in a moment. We'll also be talking to Jared Whitley from Trek Movie and our friend Trent Venegas, who will give us a little recap on quoting GR.
And more wine.
And more wine. Whoa, that's the wine guy. That's who we like. Yes.
You had a party last night. It was because of him.
Yes. Yeah. And the party last night was awesome.
So glad I missed it.
it was really cool. We've had members of the Roddenberrys here most every morning. They were so good.
I know. I am sad. I was excited for everything happening on the stage.
Right.
I went to my room last night and fell asleep, and I was glad that I did that. Yeah. But it sounds like it was a blast.
Yeah, it was really good. Like, we all know that the Star Trek theme song had lyrics to it for some interesting controversial reasons. We can talk about trivia later. Catch me.
What?
Yeah, we'll get into that later. But yeah, you're nodding your head back there, and then it showed up again. Nichelle Nichols recorded the Star Trek theme with lyrics. And then Tenacious D comes along. They make a recording with lyrics, right? And it was always this sort of like a goofy, kitschy kind of weird thing. The Roddenberrys rocked that song. They opened with it, with the theme to Star Trek. And it stopped being kind of like a weird, kitschy, nostalgic joke, and it became very cool.
Yeah, and so my guess then is it's got to be somewhere on one of their digital albums. So
probably so.
I got to check it out.
Yeah.
Very
but
cool.
They put on a hell of a show.
Completely non sequitur, but a little story that my grandmother wrote for Motown. So she had a bunch of some of the songs. She was the beat track or B-sides or something. She loved MASH, and so she wrote lyrics to the song. Of MASH.
Suicide is Painless. That's her.
She sent it to them and like, ma'am, while these are good lyrics, there are lyrics. She learned.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
But BJ Verdi tried to write some songs for me.
Wow, that's so cool.
Yeah, it's cool.
All right. Yeah.
It's cool.
Oh, I'm so sorry. You just had a moment.
No, I'm sad I'll never be as cool as she is.
Sure. Well, that's
the moment.
I want to tell everybody what's coming up on the various stages here before we get to our guest. On the Creation Leonard Nimoy stage. I mean, check this out.
He's going to be here? I'm so confused.
Too soon. No, he won't. Although that he and Shatner were born about a week apart.
Wild.
So Leonard Nimoy would have been 90 this year, and there's a little bit of a celebration and celebration of his life in the D. Kelly Theater later. But on the Nimoy stage, the Picard cast, members of the Picard cast, members of the DS9 cast, members of the Enterprise cast, and Jerry Taylor, who I'm very excited is here. She was, of course, a writer-producer on Voyager primarily. And
not Voyager.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, Voyager. And
Thank you for that
hasn't been around too much in convention circles. So this is a rarity, and please go listen to what she has to say, get an inside look at Voyager. And then she will be on the D. Kelly stage a little bit later because they're doing a panel about the Voyager documentary. Garrett will be there, Lolita Fajo, I believe David Sapone, other people who are working on that doc, fans supported. They raised a ton of money, and rightfully so, because their DS9 doc was fantastic.
Cool.
Yeah, same team behind that.
There we go. Oh yeah, my God.
There you go.
We're just have you sit on a stage and do that for me. You're nailing it. Good job. Yeah, you.
Very good. And then also on the D. Kelly stage, the Pop Culture Hero Coalition. That is, of course, the NFP that Chase Masterson is a big part of, driving force behind. They raise a lot of money for to try to end childhood bullying. And please go see her. Please go support everything that they do. In here, in there, Dr. Trek's Rapid Fire Trivia. And then I cannot wait for this. Dungeons and Dragons with the Discovery cast. Mary Chieffo, Noah Auerbach-Katz, Mary Wiseman, Anthony Rappin, Blue Del Barrio playing Dungeons and Dragons.
I cannot wait.
I know that speaks to you.
Here's what's even better.
Okay.
I gave Mary her first RPG experience. So Mary
No
Chieffo.
way.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised by that.
As an actor and an improviser, we all take to that like ducks to water, truly. Mm-hmm. But it's still like the first couple times you do it, it's like, so how crazy can I get? Yeah. Or like my first experience, even though I had been on stage since I was 11, I was playing D&D with friends. I did not understand that you're supposed to role play the entire time. And again, each table, if you are a D&D player or an RPG player, has a different culture. Just because you see it performed like Critical Role does not mean that's how every table is.
Sure.
So you can do whatever you want and play however you want, as long as there's consent. There's even it's great.
Very cool.
Mary got to play this really cool 80s character in Tales from the Loop. It was, and she was lovely.
That's awesome.
But she was really nervous. She's like, what do you do? What is this dice? You know? So she'll have come full circle. I'm sure it's going to be wonderful.
So that will be a blast. That's at 5:00 in here in the Roddenberry stage. Shortly after our show, 11:00. The Lego Bill.
We're the only show.
Really
not the Lego.
Yeah, Samuel Hatmaker. I love this. Every one of them is great. Today is the Uhura earpiece made out of Lego.
You will keep it forever.
Yes.
You will cosplay with it next year.
Right.
And I will be jealous.
Sure. Yeah, because you will have a Samuel Hatmaker designed Lego that you get to build and keep.
And if you have already seen his art pieces in the art room where the lower 10 forward is, it doesn't serve alcohol with the anyway. I know. So the Uhura piece is there.
Yes. So it's so good. At noon, I will be back here, which still, again,
he's so mad about it, by the way. He's like, really? Are you doing another panel?
Look, this weekend is entirely too much of me talking. Okay. Let's face that. Social media panel. Do we need a Babel conference? And I've got some special guests from Sci-Fi Sisters and Deep Space Pride and Trek Movie to talk, kind of get a feel for Star Trek social media and talk about ways forward. I'm really looking forward to that.
I'm looking forward to it too.
Cool. Well, thank you. You'll be at the pool, so I'll tell you all about it later.
Please. Yeah. I'm going to live,
right. Yeah.
I'm going to intuit what you guys talk about.
Nice. 3:00, Larry Nemechek will be in here for State of the Trek panel. And that's cool. I love that he tends to poll the audience. Not as much fun as it sounds. He tends to poll the audience about their, see, now you got it. It's morning. I know. You're welcome. You can use that whenever you want.
I'm not going to.
Sort of getting a feel for fandom and the relationship to Star Trek. You to be okay? You have another sip of LaCroix.
I'm deciding how bad to be.
So do come back for that. Always interesting insights about fandom at that. Throughout the day, there are multiple cosplay panels and photo ops in here. There's so much happening. And then at 6:00, come back for the group photo, because we want to celebrate what we did here, and we want to celebrate all of you.
Which is what we really did for you. If you want to put it down into like words.
Sure.
Donuts and coffee. You're so welcome.
Yes, that's it. It all boils down to that.
But truly, this is a good moment and opportunity to thank Kelsey and Claire,
Alex, Matt,
And
everybody,
yes, for just making
Earl, who is remote, who is in Arkansas, does all of our live production on Mission Log Live and has been nailing it with
Grace,
this. Thank you.
Remember her name? Great. No, I'm sorry. Her, Claire's friend. I'm not remembering her name now, right? Jackie,
who works on our social media. Yes.
Killing it. They're wonderful. They made all this happen, including the people who made the stage. We never think about those people, right, you know? Anyway, donuts are the best.
Donuts. One last announcement before we bring out our first guest. This is so cool. Everybody who has walked down that hallway and you've seen the Quoting Gene Roddenberry posters, this huge installation, these massive printouts of quotes and photos, they are for sale. All right. And here's what's amazing. There are 121 panels, 100 quotes, 21 photos, $100 each. Okay. You get to own a piece of the convention. You get to own a piece of the Gene Roddenberry Centennial.
And then you get to pay for John's trip home. So
definitely.
Really nice.
That'll first class only. Yeah. So
that's so cool.
They're first come, first serve. All you need to do is come in here, where we're hanging out here near the tech booth. And let's say you come in and I want all 121 panels. Cool. You're the first one. You can take them all if you want. Or you want one or two, whatever. Cool. You take what you want, and then the next person gets their pick of what's remaining. So make sure you give a look at those, see what speaks to you, or maybe all 121 of them, and take them home with you.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
So that's kind of awesome. And not to be forgotten, on the table tents, the QR codes for the Gene Roddenberry Centennial products, the Unity line, et cetera, everything supports charity. Every single penny of that goes either to the Trevor Project or to,
Jessica's fund.
Yes. Oh, yes. Yeah. No. 350.org, which is very similar to Jessica's fund. Yeah.
Because she's too hot. So is the world.
Oh, yeah. Nicely done. All right. Let's bring out our first
it's
guest.
about time.
It is time. Yeah. All right. Let's welcome from the very thorough and impressive TrekMovie.com. I never can wrap my head around how they do what they do. Contributor there, Jared Whitley. Come on out, Jared.
Good morning.
Hey, welcome.
Nice tie that I didn't pay attention to earlier.
Oh, that's so cool. You have
the
Prince
cool.
of the Enterprise on there. I love it.
It's actually
nice.
94, so there's no Voyager.
So wait, hey, Mike.
Voyager fans.
There we go. Yeah, people at home are like, "But I want to know about the tie."
Sorry, yeah. I'm very attractively dressed. For those who are just listening, this is stunning that so many people came here. Thank you so much, everyone, for your support.
Crazy.
I think they deserve a round of applause.
Yes. Applause.
We'll try not to give them too much of an ego, but you're right. This one.
Yeah, I think they've earned it. It's 9 a.m. on a Sunday.
We can argue if you want.
We can, but I think that would be unfortunate for at least one of us.
You're right. 9 a.m. on Sunday, it's hard to believe that this is all happening still.
I know. It's so weird.
And you came in yesterday, so you're a little less tired than us.
Yeah, I just drove in yesterday. I couldn't get the week off, so I couldn't come until yesterday. But I was not disappointed. I got here right as Shatner was starting, and I was able to say him and Kelsey Grammer.
Oh,
they were spectacular. I am consistently impressed with the level of endurance that William Shatner as a 90-year-old man has.
It's ridiculous.
That he doesn't get short of breath, walking hurriedly back and forth, speaking rapid fire. I mean, I would get tired doing that, and I'm half his age.
That's a glimpse of me decades to come. I'm certain.
I'm sure.
Just like running down a hallway.
You'll be doing a panel, but no one will be there.
Well, no, that's exactly it. That's exactly it. It'll be this. It'll be one room, just me, coffee by myself. But just running.
Rocket Man.
Did I do that in karaoke?
I believe it.
With the Rip Shirt Kirk. Yeah, it's good. Yeah.
Somehow there's a floating face of you here.
No, we did that. My buddy Ryan, he was behind dancing, doing the dance. Cute. It was good. Yeah. Jared, what brought you to Trek Movie? I have to know your origin story, Trek fandom, but then into that blogging kind of professional world of covering things for Trek Movie.
Okay, so I guess it was about 2013, right after I'd seen Into Darkness. And, you enjoyed the movie going experience, but I think like everyone in this room, I walked out saying, but Star Trek should really be on TV again, right?
Oh, okay.
And so I wrote an 800-word article about why Star Trek should be on TV again. I looked at a couple of different places to send it to. I found Trek Movie. I sent it to Kayla, who is now one of my very good friends. Yeah. They ran it, and I've been involved with them ever since.
That's so cool. And then, so you wrote that article, you fast forward to 2017 and all the announcements. You're like, no, too much TV, too much TV.
Well, I think right now what they're doing is they're sort of taking an approach of shoot at everything and see what they hit.
Okay.
Right. I think there are a variety of things that are meant to, and the audience is more diverse now than it was in the 90s.
Sure.
So there are things that are going to appeal to different people. So why not try to have a broader range of options? I think the one that's going to be most successful of all the different efforts that are coming out right now is the Prodigy one, the animated one, which I think one of the first conversations you and I ever had, you said that you were first introduced to Star Trek through the animated series.
Well, yes and no. So I grew up at this time where reruns of the original series and the animated series and the toy line sort of all blended in my head. So to me, Star Trek looked like that. Oh, okay. And it was just always like, okay, Mego action figures, because I was like 3 or whatever, Mego action figures and animated series, and what I was catching on, VHS of TOS. Too many acronyms.
Everyone here understands what you're saying.
But to me, that was the
8-track.
Boy, what is that? Yeah. That was the look and feel of Star Trek. So I didn't distinguish between any of those things. And the animated series was a big part of that. So I've shared it before on Mission Log, but like one of my favorite pictures of myself, I was about 3. And I was wearing a $6 Million Man jumpsuit that my grandmother, like running suit, my grandmother had made for me. But I was wearing the Star Trek utility belt with the little phaser and tricorder and holding my Kirk and Spock Mego action figures. Aww. So just all the pop culture had to be all present all at once.
And you could own that picture for $100.
So, but yeah, so we were talking about that and how there's something very cool about a fresh audience who isn't bringing the baggage of 55 years of Star Trek. And to them, it's just this cool animated adventure science fiction show with hopefully, characters they can relate to. And then you go, a decade in the future and they're like, oh, but wait, I can watch all this other stuff that is geared toward a more adult audience.
Sure, that they can age into, so to speak.
Yeah.
I think it's really clever. I mean, my personal favorite, I don't know if it's haram to mention it, but my favorite thing is the Orville right now. And It's not technically brand. Oh, yes. I'm not the only one.
Yeah.
Isn't that interesting? Yeah. So it's not terrible to have options. People can enjoy what they do enjoy. They don't have to watch what they don't watch. And I think we can all agree it's better than having none Star Trek.
Well, yes, exactly. And, I think there's something so cool about the breadth of Star Trek production overall. And I love, I don't know if he's here this morning, Andy Goldberg, who was a podcast host for a while. And I just saw him at the convention yesterday when he dropped in. He was very much of like TOS is my Trek. It is the only Trek. That is the only thing I want to watch. And he had a difficult time accepting and embracing things that came after it. And he went on this journey in his podcast with somebody who was new to all of it. And he said that really shifted his thought process. So when he would meet other fans who had a completely different perspective he would say, okay, tell me about your Trek. He went into sort of podcast host mode. I want to know what fires your fandom and your inspiration in this. So it wasn't about like, oh, let me just dump on you what I think is the one true right way to enjoy this, which is a terrible attitude to have,
It sounds like growth.
You know? 100%.
A lot of us have a hard time accepting that when we change out of the demographic where people are focusing on making television for us, and usually we're the demographic as kids and we're being made television shows for us. And then as we get older, I'm like, well, that's not anything like what I watch.
Right.
Because it's not, because you're not the demographic anymore.
Right.
And that doesn't take away the specialness from my Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And just because they're, you know what I mean?
We'll never take that away from you.
Please don't. Try as you might.
Yeah.
But Freddie Prinze Jr. said it perfectly. People will come up to him and goes, what is this Batman shit? It's not yours, man. Chill out. It is hard to accept that. I think there's so many different factors that go into it. Creatively, I would do it so much differently. Totally.
Yeah.
Someone else got there first and gets to make what they want.
Sure. I want to talk to you about Trek Movie a little bit. By the way, I see somebody back there in a Trek Movie t-shirt. Yeah.
Very attractive shirt over there.
Yes.
Are you wearing one of our Trek movie branded masks as well? Because we do have those.
Those are, okay.
Fail.
Yeah. Find
We do
Kayla.
have-
There you go.
Tried. You're so
Yes.
close.
Yes.
Ooh,
There you go. Very cool.
Hopefully we won't need to wear them too much longer. But if you want to, for the duration, if you want to be as fashionable as possible, come see us about our Trek movie branded merchandise.
There you go.
Oh,
Excellent.
oops.
That's fine. That's fine.
Shit.
Talk to us a little bit about your coverage here, because there is so much happening. Surely the method must be just divide and conquer with your team of people. So do you specialize? Do you call dibs on something like, no, I want to go cover that panel and that's yours? What's the method here? How do you get the most out of this without just running yourself ragged?
So what you're describing is what we've done in previous years, because
Okay.
the schedule is a little lighter this year. And because so many of us have been able to come here, it hasn't been that much of a challenge. We've been able to handle the workload actually pretty well. So much so that
Good
one
for
of
you.
my
I'd love to
friends-
know what that's like.
Yeah. I mean, we're all
Claire's right
terribly busy.
there.
We're not in a position. So in fact, one of our the senior Trek movie staff, Lori, she bought a $10 action figure of Talking Riker, and she's been spending the entire week getting pictures with him in unusual situations around the convention. So if you
That's
want to look that
awesome.
up. And she's gone up to different celebrities. They've all posed with it. Every time there's a picture of Marina Sirtis somewhere, she always poses it to make
Very
it look
good.
like he's kissing her.
That's
We
awesome.
went to the Chinese restaurant here in the Rio yesterday, and we were sure to like put him on the Lazy Susan and I'd make a nice gift of him circulating. So if we have the luxury to do something as indulgent as that, then
Sure.
we're okay.
You're having a good time.
We
Does
don't feel like we're at work.
Yeah.
that way,
Does he
which
come
you
with a
shouldn't.
tiny chair that you can do the little?
No,
Yeah,
but
no.
everyone, as soon as
Yeah,
they
you
grab it,
wanna
they
do that.
lift one of his legs up like that so he can pose like that.
Nice.
That's great.
That is.
If I were Jonathan Frakes in the 80s, I would have done that all the time too.
Of course.
That's
Well, because so it was out of necessity that he sat down like that, right?
No, he was showing out how tall he was.
Oh, okay.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Well, that's so.
Well, he said that he had a bad back.
Well, and I would like to
yeah.
believe that
Sure.
it was out of necessity to some extent.
Yeah.
But because also you have the Picard poll,
The
and that was out
maneuver,
of
yeah.
necessity as
That was
well.
necessity.
Right.
Yeah. So there's some things where really they just couldn't help it.
Exactly.
Yeah. But that man, he could sit over me anytime.
Wow. All right.
Thank you. It's Vegas. I can dream.
All right. Let us, on that note,
Great.
let us bring out our next.
Thank you for letting me take up your time.
My pleasure. Thank you for inviting me. And again, thank you everyone who came here. I'm so impressed with all of you.
That's so
Oh,
sweet.
well, yeah,
So
stick
you get to
around
hang
and stick
You just-
around. We're going to bring out our next guest and
Scoot.
Scoot down. So he is. Everybody here probably knows Fan Sets, and if you don't, you're going to get to know their work in just a moment. But John Garrison is a big part of that company, and he has brought a few things to show off to us and talk about Fan Sets. Welcome, John.
John.
Hey, welcome.
John.
I would get up, but it's early and I'm hungover. So, there you go.
Now you can hear me, I think.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hey, nice.
Hey, the other half of Fan Sets is sitting out there with
Lou.
his camera up because he's going to make fun of me later. But
Good.
and he is wearing our branded mask as well. I heard you. So those are
Nice.
available at our booth as well.
Competition.
Oh, yeah. So much branding. So tell us a little bit about Fan Sets. I assume already, because you've had a good presence here in Vegas for the last,
5 years.
5 years? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
And I assume that people know and they've seen the incredible work that you've done. You are a licensee, so you've got access to so much information, characters, and you have this great relationship with CBS to just crank out some very cool stuff. Tell us a little bit about that journey and then where that has led you today. Oh, John, I'll hang on to that for you. 'Cause I want to go through. Your merch.
I'll let you hold on to some of it.
Okay. All right.
He doesn't trust you with the other one.
I know, right? Yeah. I'm
Well,
curious. Like
One of them is
wow.
a kind of a special thing.
Okay.
Kind of rolling
Oh,
out,
these are
but,
rad. Okay.
But yeah, Fan Sets has been fun. It's been Lou and I, and we are CBS licensees, and it has been a crazy journey. Both of us are lifetime collectors. We're geeks, nerds, whatever label you want to put on us, Star Trek, comic books, baseball cards. We've done it all. We still do it all. And we were just wanting to get into something different. And our wives basically told us, you guys spend all this money on this stuff. Can you make money with this stuff? So here we are. We looked and we searched and we brainstormed and said, pins, let's do pins. And so we started that journey. CBS has been fantastic. I mean, we've gotten just so much there's just too much. I mean, you say it's a couple of us back there scrambling, trying to keep up with this and all these new shows. And, you know, we do all the design, the marketing, the shipping. I mean, it's Lou and I, we do everything. So, but it's been an incredible journey. And, you know, with the pins and the development from our first show was this show actually in 2016.
No way.
Wow.
2016, we showed up here with 36 pins. And I think Lou counted.
That's not enough.
We're well over 300 Star Trek SKUs here now.
Wow. Well, let me ask you something about that, because you said that, you know, you came at this as fans and you saw a need in the marketplace for what you do. By becoming a business, did that take away some of the fun, the excitement? Did it, like pulling back the curtain, seeing how the sausage was made, did that in any way dampen your experience and your relationship to the Star Trek franchise?
Yes and no.
Okay.
Most of the time, I mean, when we're at shows like this, I mean, we love it. We've made friends, and we've got a guy that started as a customer. He's become a good friend. He helps us run the booth and set up the booth, and just shows up and does it. We don't pay him. It's kind of cool. And, but yeah,
where is that guy? He's missing out. Let's renegotiate.
We love, I mean, the Star Trek family, and we'll always love the show. We love the interaction with the actors. I mean, Noah AK has been, that guy is phenomenal.
I've got a tiny
that character pin right there is one of the best selling pins of the show.
Really? Do people go get him to sign the back?
I don't know if they get him to sign it, but people meet him and he's just so nice. They want to have something.
Let me show this off real quick to our audience at home.
He brought his parents to our booth to meet us.
There he is. There's a tiny Noah, tiny Rin.
So Mary Chico, Mary Wiseman, and Noah all were in the same class at Juilliard together, and then got to be on the show together. And you're talking about three of the most lovely, sweet people. So it's not surprising that A, that they're all still friends, and B, as lovely as all that.
Mary.
Just grateful to be on a show and act.
And Mary Chico's been great too. And
I saw her little Laurel. Right?
Yes,
Did you guys make the Laurel?
We made the Laurel.
Yeah, my friend Maddie, who's dating her, is wearing the Laurel proudly.
Yeah, they stopped by the booth, and so, you know, that part of Star Trek is just, it'll always be great. But, you know, dealing with the normal business end of it, royalty reports, trying to keep everything going that's the part where you look at and why am I doing this? But
because your wives made you.
Yes, but everything else, the other parts of it make up for it. I mean, it's just been a phenomenal journey.
And it's not just Star Trek. I mean, you have so many licensed, you know, fandom, geek, nerd, whatever you want to call it, pop culture. You have so many other product lines. Let's give us a little taste of that.
We are. That comes down to that workload we were talking about. Over 300 Star Trek SKUs now, but we've got well over 1,200 total. We've got a DC license, DC Comics. We do Harry Potter. We do Ultraman. We just landed Keyforge. I don't know if any of you are familiar with the card game, but we're doing Keyforge now. And there's just so many licenses and trying to just keep up. Irwin Allen. Irwin Allen's a huge
no
one.
way.
If anyone's an old sci-fi fan, Time Tunnel, the original Voyage of Lost in Space, Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea. We've got a bunch of those, and we're working hard on increasing that line as well.
Can you, because it's Irwin Allen, can you please do a Poseidon Adventure pin and a Towering Inferno pin just for me?
John, this man is so tired.
Hey, look, he's here to sell pins. Okay.
Not just to you.
They need the John Champion demographic in their marketing. So.
Again, it's not for you, John.
All right. So I want to show off some of this stuff because they're the character pins. We're going to show. Hey guys, they're loading in something back there. I'm going to show us some of these that are incredibly accurate looking, like uniform badges, uniform pins. And I'll show one up there while you talk about it.
Okay. That is kind of been our latest journey with the Star Trek. We got into it, and Lou coined the Delta's done right. And you know, the biggest thing about this, being fans, we look at the stuff we produce and say, well, if I don't want it in my collection, if I don't want it on my wall, if I wouldn't wear it, we don't want to do it.
That's my kind of art.
We have actually canned the pins because they didn't meet what we wanted to do. But the Deltas have been phenomenal. We started with the mini Delta. CBS contacted us to do it for the giveaways at the premiere. And it just kind of led to the large Deltas. And so now we've got the season 3 Discovery, we've got the All Good Things badge, and we probably at some stage of design have another 20 at various stages of design now from TNG. And, we're going to, the Bajoran symbol, we're going to do some obscure stuff too. We're just going to keep going. The Deltas have been great. The reception to those from people has just been outstanding. And
they're gorgeous. They're heavy. They're not going to, wear over time. They might get scratches because they're metal, but they're gorgeous.
Thank you. What I like about these is they have the magnetic back.
And we actually do them both ways. We're trying to balance it. And so our goal is every Delta we do will come out as a pin and as a magnet. So you can choose how you want to use it.
I was saying the other day that, as somebody who's been a collector for a number of years, I always like things that feel like they're in universe, that they're right off the screen. And to me, like, I probably won't wear a pin that says Star Trek on it, but I would definitely wear something that looks like it's just right off the set. I want something that looks like it's from that world. So you have character pins, you have these very screen accurate badges. Talk to us a little about some of the limited edition stuff that you do too, because I know you do some very special, like one-offs or collector sets.
We do. We try and have something special for every show we do. We started with the Vegas show. This will be our 4th one for this pin. We didn't do it the first year because we didn't know what we were doing that first year, but we figured we were in Vegas, so we started doing poker chip designs where we would put some character and feature it on a poker chip. We started with Data,
So cool.
Then we went to Cisco, and then we did a Kirk with Fizbin. And that one actually sold out. And what we do with these, if they're limited, we do one run. We don't say they're show exclusives, they're show specials, and we do one production run on them. And when they're out, they're out. Whether that means we sell out at the show or whether we sell out on the website once we get it home or a previous year. So the Picard pin, I'll just tell you, hands down has been our best selling one. We made a ton of them and we have, I think, 5 left.
That's
It's
understandably so. If you're able to see it, it's
cool.
gorgeous. So are we thinking about a future currency with these someday? Like where
Sure.
Well-
Fan sets.
well, I guess what I mean is if you are doing these special sets, eventually people are going to begin to sell these and trade them. And
People have.
what's the highest price you've seen something go for?
We did our second show that we did was actually the Mission New York show. And we did a show special, and it was the Guardian of Forever, the Gate.
Oh, yeah.
And we sold out of that pin in 4 hours.
Holy.
We had no idea what we were getting into. And I've seen that pin on eBay for $75.
Very
Wow,
cool.
That's awesome.
And,
Now I know what to invest in today.
and that one. And then we did one in San Francisco, and we did the Golden Gate with Voyage Home. So we had the whales, and that one is those are probably the 2 hardest pins to find
I
that we've
want
done.
that one.
We were small, we were just starting, they were smaller runs,
Yeah.
and the reception of those just blew us away.
Gorgeous.
Very cool.
And I got to show you one more here. Then
Yeah.
we started a line called the Women of Trek. We started, and it's been, the reception by people has just been phenomenal. And each one is a round pin that features a different woman, and we're trying to spread it out. And for each show, now we've decided we're going to do a special edition Woman of Trek. So 2 years ago, because of COVID last year, we didn't do it. We did an Uhura pin, and that one is almost gone. We've got a handful left in the booth, but it's just about gone. And this year we did a 7 and 9, and
So cool.
those actually have the year on it. And we changed the shape. It's not the round ones like the ones in the set, but we do have the 7 and 9s at the booth. And this is the big news. This is the one you can't hold. You can't have this one. But,
That's so cool.
Understood. I might come by and get the Huda one.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
very cool.
So definitely go to the Fansets booth if you're here, and then fansets.com is
Yes.
where people can order.
Fansets.com, you can order. We ship all over the world. But this one is coming.
Oh.
We're working on the TWAC badge, and we are
No way.
now, Lou and I want to get home because we've got a sample waiting for us at the office. It's the 4th mold we've made, and we've been working with people to get everything right. This one's got several issues with it on finishes and some of But this one will be coming soon, and this one we've talked to several people that have been involved with Star Trek and with the prop departments and everything, and the goal and what we've been told is when we get it out with the changes that we're doing to this one, it'll be the most accurate one on the market.
Wow, can I show that off? That is,
and again, that one, when you show it,
stunning.
if anyone looks close,
the
that
finish
one's
might
not
be
even
right.
close. That one's got so many little
But
issues with it.
That is
gorgeous,
ridiculously cool.
And for everyone else, not me,
Jessica, take it and run. Go.
Okay. which badge, which series, which
Wrath of Khan. It's
Wrath
Wrath of Khan, yeah.
Oh,
And
so
it's,
cool.
It has been a labor. Believe me, these deltas have been fun, but with our commitment to trying to get the accuracy, we go over and over and over on trying to get things just right. And you know, we're fighting the difference between the prop department making 25 and us wanting to mass produce thousands. And it's a big jump, let me tell you.
Thank you so much. As we kind of come down to our last minutes here of the last morning show, I know, right? I want to say hi to one more guest who we've been able to spend some time with this week. He is the host of Quoting Gene Roddenberry. He is our friend, and you've gotten to know him as a friend too. He is Trent Venegas, and let's welcome him out to the stage.
Trent. Yay!
Black
alert.
Yeah.
Right?
Wow, that was
alert. I'm coming for her job.
Oh my God, I would love to.
We would happily.
Absolutely. Yeah, stick around a minute after the show, and we'll do a little giveaway here. Yeah.
Very cool.
Trent, welcome.
Good morning.
I am shocked that I saw you just kind of wander in about 8:45 and just like, oh, hey, I'm here for the day. Like,
thanks for having me. Yeah.
This is your first Star Trek convention.
It is my first convention. Yeah.
And they put you to work.
Put me to work, but it's been like fun. Like it's not work. It's like this is a joy.
It's like a horse that's a stud. That's not a lot of work.
Applause.
Thank you.
Applause. Yeah.
There was a 2-second delay in my head said, "Don't say that," and you know, I didn't listen.
Yes. Yeah. So what has your experience been like? I mean, you came from steeping yourself in Gene Roddenberry, and obviously a Star Trek fan already, but steeping yourself in all things Roddenberry and specifically the Quoting Gene Roddenberry series. And then you get to come here and have that conversation with people. Tell us about that for you.
So being the co-host of Quoting Gene Roddenberry and talking about 100 of his different quotes, we did it, you know, as a podcast. So me and co-host Rachel True and our guest co-host as well. So we do it over Zoom, and it's very not isolating, but you know, when a conversation is over the phone, or at least getting to have those conversations here in person with listeners who may or may not be familiar with the podcast. Over the past couple of days, we discussed 3 different quotes here on stage, just as if we would done it on the podcast, and asking the audience if they had questions or just thoughts, and that just elevated the whole experience for me, like through the roof. So it's been really, really fun. Like it'd be fun to do like a tour. Let's take this on the road and just talk to everybody, because I feel like those kinds of conversations are how we're going to, I hope, get to this wonderful future that we are such a fan of, far off in the 23rd, 24th century.
What has surprised you about your experience here?
Absolutely nothing has surprised me. No, it exceeded my expectations, but I was never surprised. I will say,
that's a good way to put it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I was trying to think of like my 3 favorite things. It's, you know, I couldn't pick one. So first, the cosplay. So getting to see the photos online is really cool. Like, you know, I follow as many Twitter accounts as I can, and just seeing like everyone post their photos, and it's just really, really cool. That does not compare to seeing them in person. Like seeing them in person is a completely different experience. It's not even so much seeing them from front and back, but it's just like up close and talking to the person and asking them how they did it. Like that is really, really fun for me.
Yeah.
Second, getting to see and watch and talk to Roddenberry here, just interacting with the fans. You know, we spent like, it seems very venerated to talk about, you know, Gene Roddenberry's quotes, and this is his father. And I wasn't like concerned about meeting him. Like, when you have that task of like talking about like a man and his words, like it's very daunting. And this is his father, you know? So I wasn't exactly sure. I knew he'd be wonderful, but I didn't think he'd be like, he's just really cool. Like last night at the party, like he was just dancing with people, and he's just like the biggest fan, just like we are. So it's really, really great to see that.
Awesome.
And third,
yes,
getting to meet Julianne Grossman yesterday, right here on the morning show, yesterday morning.
I hate her.
I wore my Black Alert.
awesome.
t-shirt,
Okay, you have
which
to
I
go to the
should've-
sign it.
which I should have worn
For sure.
yesterday, but
No, you were super delightful and excited to be here. And
I mean,
So
we
cool.
live for that shit.
Yeah.
So
So
it was
cool.
very sweet.
Yeah.
so for my first convention, I think it was a slam dunk success.
Yeah, well said, no question about it. And honestly, you know, that brings us to time. I have ideas about how to give these away, but I'll give away one right now in our closing minute. Yeah, who here listens to Mission Log? Okay, all right. So I'm going to look for the first hand up. As we know, after I pose a question,
Smart.
that's good. Norman, as we know, moved from LA to Florida. And he has spoken many times on the show and on our Patreon unedited feed about now his favorite thing to wear in Florida to beat the Florida heat. And he's posted pictures of himself in this. I want to know who knows what that is. A kilt. Norman wears a kilt in Florida because it's hot and he's got the legs for it. So yes.
Don't throw it. Don't throw it.
No, yeah. There you go.
Good job.
There
Yay.
you go.
Applause.
All right.
Applause.
I think this is something that could happen throughout the day too. I think
Oh,
these
yeah,
are
yeah,
beautiful
totally.
gifts.
These are
And I'm just gonna pretend like you
gorgeous.
said, don't give this one away. So. Oh, is it? Okay, good. I
wow,
thought so.
nice.
And
Yeah,
thank you.
Yeah.
I couldn't be more grateful.
Good.
And I'm going to take one extra
Yes,
minute and
please,
just
yeah.
remind you all, my friend Scott was here and we talked about this to celebrate Alex's birthday a couple of days ago. My friend put together over 1,000 names of geeky IP. And so one way you could appreciate this book is if you get it for only $20, you can go get the actors to sign their name in here.
What a great
Ooh,
idea.
It's not a bad
smart.
idea.
That is a good idea.
And it's not just, oh, this is, this person's name. There's
Yeah.
so many ways that many names show up in different IPs, and he goes really into depth about it. So it's a really special book
Brilliant.
to have if you want it.
I
Come
love
to
it.
me and give me your money.
So don't forget trekmovie.com, fansets.com, and quoting Gene
TrentVenegas.com.
quoting Gene Roddenberry. Those panels again, you can come in here and let us know which one you would like, or all of them you would like, and you can take that home as a souvenir. I do want to thank everybody. I want to thank Eagle Moss. I see the graphic up on the screen right now. StarTrekLasVegas.com. Use our code TREK15 to get 15% off of everything in that store through tomorrow, through Monday the 16th. So, you've blown all your money here and you get home, you're like, oh, I didn't get that one thing. Well, you can go to StarTrekLasVegas.com and pick up the cool Eagle Moss stuff that you want.
John, this is the last time we're ever going to see each other.
Yeah,
So-
completely. Yeah.
What
yeah,
is?
I believe you blocked my number already. So, yeah.
It was a really smart decision last night. What's one thing that you want to say to everybody?
From the bottom of my heart, I cannot thank you enough. We had a Mission Log Patreon meetup the other night at iBar, and yes, and it sounds so like self-indulgent to say we have the coolest, we have the best listeners. We do. You all have become friends, and I mean that in a very
He keeps
sincere.
on talking about it. It's a little awkward. So if
But-
you feel uncomfortable, let me know.
Yeah, I mean that in a very sincere, very real way, that you all have become friends, and I'm usually running around and don't have time to stop and really have the kind of chat that I would like to. But I love you all. I thank you all. Thank you so much. This has been
Thank you.
amazing.
I'm so grateful.
Working with you, really ridiculously amazing.
He said it, right? He said it. It's not easy. He can't walk that one back.
Yeah, let's go back to taking the piss out of each other. That would make me much more comfortable.
And thank you yourselves for being here.
Yes. I cannot
wouldn't
believe everybody showed up in the morning.
amazing.
So awesome. Thank you all. Thank you to everybody who has been working on this with us. Kelsey, Alex, Matt, Claire, Jackie, everybody from Roddenberry. Thank you to Earl, who is doing the hard work back at home on the computer.
He
to
might
make
be asleep
all
right
of
now.
the simulcasts. Thank you to Creation. Thank you, everybody. And we'll see you next time.
Bye.